Okay, so this week we are working on our bothers me log. We're keeping track every day of the stuff that bothered me today. One of the things that occurred to me that I've used for really good effect and for myself in the past, seems to work for others too. When I sort of like, I can't find that anything's bothering me. What do I'm doing okay. Nothing's bothering me. One of the things we can do is, instead of doing the bothers me log, what we can do is we can write down a list of all of the things we're not letting bother us. It's not that big a deal. I'm not going to be bothered by that. And just keep track of those things about which we say, I'm not going to let it bother me, because if I'm not going to let it bother me, it's because it bothers me, right? And these may be very trivial things. That's fine. Doesn't have to be a big deal. It's just a matter of noticing, oh, that's bothering me, and I'm saying it's not a big deal. I'm not going to let it bother me, okay? So that's a way for you to kind of go a little deeper if you're having trouble. Now, if there's lots of stuff on your list of what's bothering you, you don't need to go there. You can just cover the obvious stuff. But if you're having trouble identifying what's bothering you, just identify the things that you're not going to let bother you. All right. So one of the things also that we talked about on Sunday was the whole idea that what we're doing is we're allowing ourselves to kind of settle into a deeper awareness of ourselves. We're going to really pay attention to our own interiors and to be more mindful. These are the 5 mindfulness disciplines. And there are certain things that our culture says to us that discourage us from being mindful. Don't pay attention. No, don't let it bother you. It's not that big a deal. Brush it off. Don't. So we hear those messages and we can kind of take them to heart, unless we're noticing like, oh, there's one of those that's talking me out of being self-aware. If I'm going to be an adaptive system, if I'm going to be a self-organizing system, the requirement is that I be aware of myself. So I want to go into that. So I started thinking about this Sunday evening when we were in the middle of the meeting, and I decided, there's too many things on this list. So I want to just share with you 7 things that I came up with that are reasons why we would not want to be mindful. One of them is that if I start paying attention to myself, if I listen to my own interior, I don't know what I'm going to find when I get there. There might be some really ugly stuff there. And so I don't think I really want to know, right? So our fear of self-knowledge may be one of the things that's going on with it. If what I'm paying attention to is the interior of an important relationship for me, so I'm going to pay attention to what's happening for me in that relationship. What's going to happen is I'm going to be more aware of my being bothered with the relationship, and I'm likely to become less tolerant of the behavior of somebody else when they're making the relationship be other than what I would like it to be, and I don't know what to do about that, so I don't want to pay attention to it. A third one is that this stuff takes time. I mean, maybe it's just a few minutes writing down the bothers me log, but there's going to be more things in weeks to come, and it's going to get more and more time consuming, because we're not going to stop doing one. We're adding things as we go. And at some point we're going to say, I don't have time for this. This is just too much work. It takes too much energy and time away from other things I need to do. All right, number 4, because the people I hang with, my friend group, doesn't do this. We're not about being mindful, right? The community doesn't encourage mindfulness. And so if they know what I'm up to, they're likely to make fun of me or reject me in some way. So in order to preserve the relationships I have, I'm not going to do this mindfulness stuff. All right. Now, a 5th one is that I have noticed that people who I experience as being mindful, people who are self-aware, people who really know themselves, one of the things it feels to me like is that they know things I don't know. They even know things about me that I don't know about me. And I'm not sure I want them to know. So I certainly don't want to hang out with people who are mindful, because they may know things about me. I don't want to go there, right? They may be judged. They may be as critical of me as I am, right? So 6th, if I were to be in a relationship in which the other was paying too much attention to the relationship, I would be afraid of what it is that they're going to discover, and they're going to abandon me. So if we have an agreement in our relationship that we're going to pay attention to the relationship, it may make the relationship rocky. I mean, I'm not making this up. People are like, I don't want us to work on a relationship because it might destroy the relationship. And the seventh one, and this is certainly not an exhaustive list, but the seventh one I came up with is that when we are doing mindfulness exercises, it doesn't look like we're getting things done. We're not busy doing things. We're busy being. And being doesn't get the job done. Doing is what gets the job done. So I don't want to be hanging out with people who are doing all this navel gazing. I don't want to be one of those because we got stuff we got to do. There's too many problems we need to solve. So people who are being introspective, they're missing the boat and they're sucking the energy out of the things that we really need to be doing to make the world a better place. So this is, as I say, not an exhaustive list, but it's just some things that came up for me that you can kind of be mindful of as we do our Bothers Me log. And I'll see you Sunday evening when we're going to talk about how it is that how did it go for us this week as we do our Bothers Me log? And we're going to take on the next week's, which is the anger workout. Love that one. Okay. See you Sunday.